Is it too good to be true? I get asked this question all the time, where we're helping couples who need to use third-party services. What's third-party services? Anytime you need an egg donor or a surrogate and you need their assistance in order to start your family. So whether you're straight or you're part of the LGBTQ family of individuals and you need help where you need to engage an egg donor or a surrogate, the question is, why do the journey in Canada and what's the catch? Because we are way less expensive than the US. How much? About a third of the cost right now of doing the journey in the United States. A US surrogate is going to cost you hundreds of thousands of US dollars, and in Canada it doesn't cost nearly that much. So people constantly ask us, what's the catch? Is there some kind of compromise? And the answer is there's no compromise. We get the same ethical standards in Canada that they have in the US, if not even higher and more stringent. We have federal regulation of our programs, extremely stringent. We have the same testing for the donors and surrogates and yourselves that they have in the United States. In fact, FDA testing is accepted by Canada and Canadian testing is accepted by the FDA. So it's the same testing, and at our clinic, we go above and beyond those tests and do even more. We screen for drugs, we screen for additional infectious diseases. So we are super careful with the testing. And then on top of that, everyone's like, well, you know, your success rates can't be the same. Actually, quite frankly, our success rates aren't just the same. They're better in many cases. We have sky-high success rates with a genetically normal embryo, and we do an absolutely amazing job. Is there a catch? Well, the reality is, and I have to be honest about this, it will take you a little while to find a surrogate in Canada. The truth is that there aren't nearly as many surrogates in Canada as there are in the US, because in the US, they're getting paid $100,000 US dollars for their surrogacy journey. And in Canada, we aren't anywhere even near that. They're simply getting reimbursed for their expenses. They're not allowed to be compensated for what they're doing for you. So it does take a little bit longer. And for those people where it takes a little bit longer, especially if you're from overseas, it's certainly possible to do what we call a hybrid journey, where you do most of your journey in Canada, you make your embryos here, you use a Canadian egg donor, but you find a US surrogate if you're thinking that it's going to take you too long. It will cost you a lot more, and if that's worth it for you, it's certainly possible. But if you are patient enough, you can save yourself a huge amount of money by having your journey in Canada. So is there a catch ultimately in all this? There's no catch. It's just very honest, realistic to say that you're going to save yourself almost 2/3 of the expense of doing an egg donor or surrogate journey in the United States compared to Canada. It's much cheaper to do it in Canada, and there is no glitch, there is no catch. There is nothing we are doing that's different from what anybody else is doing, and I will happily compare my success rates to any clinic anywhere in the world.